Today we're going to play with this Zen37 800LR. This is a wireless remote control for Z-Wave. It is battery powered and has a rechargeable battery in it. And we are just going to sit around and get it into our network and see what we can do with it. So let's get started. All right, let's see what's in the box real quick. This is, of course, the Zen37 800 long range by ZooZ. Just slides out of the box here. You get some QR codes to scan for the ZBox Hub, SmartThings, Habitat, and then, of course, Home Assistant. These are all tutorials that you can use to start pairing and all of that stuff. But we're just going to use the standard stuff, standard install when we get to that point. Comes with a manual, wall remote, you know, your standard unfolding deal here. Explains how to add the device to your hub, power the device, all that stuff. So standard user manual. Then you get a nice faceplate. This can be used to go over your regular wall outlet box or your wall boxes or whatever. And then of course you get the device itself. And here is nice foam padding. And this comes out of the box like this. And it is magnetic. So you can actually attach this to the wall. Just stick it on the wall, and then you can take this and stick it to the wall. That way you can grab this thing and just carry it around with you if you want to take it somewhere. Set it by the sofa, on the table or whatever, or just stick it back to the wall. That gives it a nice place to rest whenever you're done with it so you don't lose it. It's got a couple of these magnets on the back of it. And then these, I'm not sure why there's sticky stuff on here. I guess you can stick this to the wall, take this tape or 3M stuff off of here, stick it to the wall, and then just stick it like that. So that's real neat to be able to do that. And then of course, if you want to stick it on a regular wall plate, you can screw it into the regular wall box, stick it on here, and then you can stick that into the little recess like that. And it'll hold it on there. In fact, it holds it through the plastic even. Pretty strong magnet. But you can put this in a regular single gang box and then just attach this like you would any other switch. And then in the rest of the box, you've got a little USB-C cable. I am not sure what that's for yet. We will get to that. Well, it's a rechargeable battery now that I think about it. So you would actually recharge this through a rechargeable battery. And then some other mounting hardware you can use to screw this directly to the wall if you want to. So you could actually take this plate right here and just take these anchors, put them in the wall wherever you want it, even if you don't have a box on the wall, an electrical box. Just stick it on the box here, screw this in, and then you have a plate on the wall wherever you want it. So that's kind of neat. And I'm not sure what this is for other than to maybe do something with blocking the magnets or doing something with the magnets. Anyway, that's what you get in the box, and that's it. Let's get this thing installed and running. All right, now that we have it out of the box, let's take a look at this little device right here. One of the things that I mentioned in the unboxing was this little triangle thing here. Wonder what it was for. Well, we figured out what it's for by reading the manual. So first of all, first things first. Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. This little triangle thing allows you to open up the actual battery compartment. And I'm assuming we just stick it in this little indentation here and pop it open like that. Maybe some more. I mean, if you have your favorite opening tool, you can use that as well. All we're doing here is we're getting rid of this little protector. It says pull, and that will activate the battery. So now the device should theoretically be on. So I'm gonna put the cover back on. Oh, there's a battery inside there. I mean, a magnet inside there. That's what sticks it to the wall. So if you're curious, and it also holds it on there pretty tight. Put it the right way, of course. All right, snap it back together, and there we go. All right, so I'm going to use Z-Wave JS UI to add this to my network. This has an S2 security setup on it, or it has S2 security, which means it probably will ask for the PIN number. There's a PIN number on the back of this device here. It also has a little QR code. So you can see this little QR code and there's a pin number underneath here. So you'll use that when you get to that step. So let's go do this. First time I've done this. So let's go ahead and do it and see what it actually does. So in order to do this, according to the manual, and I'm looking at the manual right here, if you want to do this manually, you're going to click the top button 6 times. So we're going to click the top button 6 times on here, which is this button here. And that puts it in inclusion mode. So you can do this a couple different ways. I'm going to go down here to this little button. Let me get rid of myself here. This little button here. And I'm going to click this little purple thing for, or actually I'm going to use this for manage nodes. And I want to go to inclusion. So let me go ahead and go back to this device. I'm going to push this 6 times like it says. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put this in inclusion mode next. Wall remote. Click on next. And then it has either can scan a QR code, allows pre-configuring the device inclusion settings, which will then happen without user interaction. I don't have that ability. So I'm going to click on next because I think I need a camera for this. I don't have a camera on my device. It's running inclusion. And now if I got the battery stuff done right, and it's actually on, it should go in inclusion mode. Let me click this 6 times again. Puts it in inclusion mode, supposedly. And I've got about 8 seconds remaining on this, and it hasn't seen it yet. I do see it flashing. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yep, there is a flashing light there. So it's in inclusion mode. Let me do this again. Okay, so now it found it this time. S2 authenticated, lighting sensor security. Let me do authenticated since I have the little key for it. And it wants a DSK pin, which is the one that's on the bottom here. So I'm going to put that in. Give me just a second here. Let me put that pin in for you so you're not looking at it and I don't have to go blur it later. All right, so now we are waiting for response from the node. So node 68 has added with S2 authenticated. So then we can close this out. So I just added that. That's as simple as is add it. You just go through and you click it 6 times. And then now we have this device added to our Z-Wave network. Now we get to figure out what we can actually do with it. So I'm going to go down here to node 68, the one I just added, and see how it identifies itself. All right, here it is. Wow, 76% battery from the factory. That's nice. It is wireless, so it's going to be in the sleep mode. And let's just open this up and see what we have. We have scene controls, configuration controls, notifications, whole bunch of other stuff on here. So this isn't very useful right now. There's probably some configuration options you can set. Below battery threshold, you can set the color of the button here. There's only one LED on here apparently, and you can change the color of this. And you can also change, well, it says button 2 color. We'll get to that here in a minute. Let me go over to Home Assistant and let's go to our integrations page where I can find my Z-Wave stuff. And I'll look at my Z-Wave devices here and see that the wall remote has shown up on here. And it does show that 76% battery level. The manufacturer and the model and all that are not known, which is interesting. I wonder if it's just not fully available in Z-Wave JS UI right now. So let's go to wall remote here. And what we have is battery is charging off, battery's fully charged off. So I see some battery stuff here. I see some scene controls here. But I don't know if I push one of these buttons, what happens here. So I'm pushing a button. Let me show you on the other screen here. So I'm going to push this top button. Yep, Keypress. So scene 1, detected an event 25 seconds ago. Scene 2 is, I'm going to assume it's this button. Yep, scene 2 is this button right here. And then scene 3 is probably this one. Yep, and then scene 4. What I find interesting though is that it's hard to see on this screen. Let me get off of the inset. Actually, let me adjust my inset for you so this works better for us. All right, that's better. All right, so what you see here is I'm pressing these keys. So let me do it again. I'm going to press this top button here and watch this right here while I do that. It says 1 minute ago. I'm going to press it. 22 seconds ago. 22 seconds ago. 22 seconds. And 22 seconds. I wonder if my time is off between, I don't know, the host of this, the host of Home Assistant or something else. That's strange. It should be immediate, but anyway, it is working. So if I do, let's do 3 key presses. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. I didn't hit it fast enough. Key press 2 times. 1, 2, 3. Key press 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times. So this allows you to do some automation with this stuff. And I'll show you an automation here in just a minute for these different things. Now, one other thing it's hard to see on here. Let me go to the big screen here. If you look at this, anytime I press a button, you'll see, and let me turn the lights off for 1 second here to get to that. So if I push a button here, you should see the light up top. Yep. If I push this button, there's a light. Now, every time I push this button, there's a different color. So that one's kind of bluish. That one's, what is that? Orange, I guess. That one's violet. And that one's white. So every time I push a button, I get a different color. I'm not really sure how helpful that is because I guess it's acknowledging that you did something, but with a specific button, it doesn't really matter to me. If I'm over here and I'm pushing the button on this thing, I just want to see that it responds. I don't know what the colors mean. So if I push this 3 times. Okay, well, that's interesting. It does tell me that that button was pushed 3 times. That was 4. Okay, so you get a visual indication here of whenever you push these buttons and how many times you push it. So that's good for automation. If you have a scene press where you push the button twice, for example, or 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Well, I got it that time. If you accidentally push it 3 times or 2 times when you should have pushed it 3, at least you'll get a visual indication. Okay, so that's how you include it and everything into this. So what I need to do now is let's go ahead and go into, let's go ahead and turn the lights back on for one. It's really dark. There we go. I'm going to go in now and I'm going to do some playing around with it. And we'll set up a couple automations to use the different scene presses that you can see right here where I pressed it X number of times. We'll be able to use that in automation. So let's go do that. And then we can see how we can utilize this in various automations. All right, so the reason I'm using Zwave JS to MQTT. So I'm going to be using what's called a notification event. So I'm going to go over here to Developer Tools in Home Assistant. And I'm going to select the notification. Where is it? I'll just put it in here. Zwave JS value notification events. I'm going to start listening to events. And anytime I push a button on this button, this device down here, you're going to see an event happen. So let me just push it once. And now you see an event happen. And let's stop for a second. I'll talk through what this is. All right, so this is a value notification coming from my Zwave JS setup. And node ID is okay. What I'm most interested in is the device ID, the label, and the value. So I'm going to use an automation to for this device for scene 1 and the number of key press values. So let me show you again here. Let me do a double press on scene 2. So if I do a double press on scene 2, hopefully, you'll then, yep, it's in reverse order. Actually, I hit it 3 times. Let me do it twice. Okay, there we go. All right, so what I have here is same device ID, scene number 2, which is a second button, and then key press 2 times. And this is going to allow me to set up an automation. So this is information we're going to need in order to set up the automation. So rather than close this out, I'm going to make sure that I've stopped the listening, which I have, and we're going to go over to the automations. I'm going to create a new automation, clicking this button right here, just new. And I'm going to actually, I'm going to see if I can do this through the UI. So this is going to be, what do we have? Manual event. Let's see, sentence template. This is the new UI in Home Assistant that allows you to do stuff through the UI. I'm just going to see what we have here. Nope, I don't want that one. Manual event. Let's type event type here. Zwave JS notification. All right. Actually, I want event type this one. And then I'm going to leave event data is going to be all the data that we're going to put in here. So this is the first part. So this is the value notification. That's what we're doing, event type. And then this is the information we want to put in here. So I'm just going to copy some of this down to this point, and I'm going to get rid of stuff that I don't need. So let's just copy this. And then I'm going to paste it in here as event data. And then if all of this stuff matches, then it would fire this event. I'm just going to get rid of things that I'm not interested in. And then I want to, let's see here, event data. I don't need any of this stuff. Label scene 2, and then I want Keypress here. So I want the domain Zwave JS. I don't even need that one. So let me get rid of that one. So I need the device ID, and then I want the label, which is going to be scene 2, and I want the key value pressed 2 times. And that's all the value I'm going to use for this. Actually, that's the data I'm going to use. So I've got the event type, the data that's going to determine what this event is. And then I'm going to add an action. This is going to be a simple action. Let me just do a switch. I'm just going to say toggle for this one. And I'm going to choose entity. Let's just say, okay. And then I'm going to save it. And this is going to be turn on game room wall remote scene 2x for 2-time press. All right, save that right now. So if you want to look at this in YAML, this is what the YAML looks like. Turn on the game room event, Zwave JS value notification. Event data is going to be this device ID, which is the wall remote. The label scene 2, and the value is key pressed 2 times. And then I'm going to toggle the game room lamp. And to see that, let me go back over here to, let's see if I can find it on this. There we go. This right here should toggle. So I'm going to push I'm going to do this right here, and then you can see both. So I should be able to push this button 2 times, and you should actually see this, where's it at? This lamp come on, or toggle. So here we go, 2 times. Oops. I don't know if I actually hit it twice. There's 2 times, and that did not work. No. All right, so that's not working. So what I need to do back over here is look at and see if it even fired. Wall remote. It never triggered. All right, so our trigger is not working. And you could tell when it triggers, if you actually get it to trigger, it'll show up here as a trigger. So 2 times. No, so that's not working. So let's look at our data again. Device ID is that one. Label scene 2, key press 2 times. Let's go back over here to our developer tools and look at that and see what it's actually doing. So let me start listening again. And if I hit this 2 times, yeah, I'm not seeing it here. Okay, I've messed with this for a second off camera to figure out what I was doing wrong. And what I basically did is this is the event data. So I've actually said data twice. So I copied this from here and I used the word data in it. If you look at the YAML, you'll see what the problem is. I have event data, and then I have the word data in here again. So what I need to do is remove data, and you can do that either for the YAML or from the UI. I'm just going to do it from the UI so everything lines up perfectly. And then just get rid of this spacing like so. And then we're going to save it. Now, first thing I want to show you is whenever you trigger it. So if I push the button here twice, this should actually show up top here. It should show it as triggered. So let me do that. And you can see the blue line says triggered up here. So that means it actually worked. So now if I go over to the lamp thing I was showing you just a moment ago, you should see the lamp toggle. So here's the lamp. I'm going to push it twice. And it should toggle off. And you can see it toggles off. Let me do it again. And it toggles back on. So that is working as it should. So there you go. We've got the remote. We've added it to our Zwave JS network. This is the nice little remote here. We've set up an automation based on Zwave JS events. And you can take that event or that automation and copy it or use it wherever you want. If you want to do a single key press, then it would just be key press in the events. If you want to do 2 times, 3, I don't know how many times you can actually do this. I'm looking to see if there is a limit to the number of scene controls. All right, so yes, on the documentation, there's actually a, it says here, supports 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tap, button held, and button released for each button. So real quick, since I said I'm not going to make this video long, I'm going to go ahead and make it longer for just a second. I'm curious, if we go back over here and we listen to that event and we hold the button down. So let me just hold the button down this time. I'm going to hold button 3 down, which is this one right here. So hold it down. 1. All right. You can see here, actually key held. So you can hold the button down. Let's do that one more time. Hold the button down. So you get an event that's called key held up here, and I'm going to keep holding it down, and I'm going to let go now finally, and released. You can see it went released right there. So you can actually set up automations to hold the button down to do something, as well as do up to 5 taps. So there you go. That is a remote control. What I don't know yet is what's the battery life going to be on this. But battery life will be determinant on how much I push the buttons and other things that go along with that. So it's going to be a fun little remote, and definitely where I don't have the ability to put a remote or put something on the wall, I have some ideas for using this in different areas. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below. Also hit me up on Discord, etc., etc. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for supporting me in doing this, and for all of the feedback you give me in the channel so I know how to make things better and more valuable for you. With that, we'll see you on the next one.